Let's start recording something. What are we talking about?
So I guess we have a couple options. We could talk about let's talk about let's talk about
Let's talk about us.
I mean, well,
What are we? Oh,
you know what would be a good idea?
what would be a good idea?
If I could,
ZoinkMeister Patrick
if-
of ZoinkMeister, the YouTube channel.
if I could find like a topic that like a topic that would last for all time, we could use Doom Eternal as an example of some of those concepts.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
So let me real quick.
You got my balls rolling.
The disappearance of cheat codes. Literally the bottom of the list. Okay.
This is perfect.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
I used to love cheat codes. I don't know. A lot of people are not super into cheat codes because, you know. So I've heard. I think kind of part of the reason they disappeared is because they felt like when you cheated at the game, then you're not playing it for real, right? It's like you're like, oh, you know, like if you just you ruin the game by cheating, right?
Yes,
I feel like a lot of people kind of have that attitude. So for a long time, and it's probably still true, we sort of lost the like cheat code. Like I'd say the original Xbox, right? Starting with like the 360, cheat codes started to disappear. And you still had some holdouts, like Rockstar keeps cheat codes in their games, usually.
Yeah, but you only get like one Rockstar game per generation.
Exactly.
If we're lucky, we got like 5, which was, cross-gen.
Exactly. And so I always thought of cheat codes as like a fun alternative way of playing the game. I never thought it was like, I didn't ruin the game when I had infinite ammo. I just played it a different way and made it its own kind of fun, right?
Yeah, I think it kind of depends on what the cheat code is. Also, I totally a fan and like totally on board with having cheat codes.
Yeah.
But as opposed to, I guess it depends on what kind of game it is. But let's say for a game, if you're meant to experience like a forward story, I don't think you should be able to use cheat codes, at least not the first time around.
Maybe so. And you know what? I mean, that's fair, but also like you don't have to use cheat codes ever. Like they're to
optional.
The player,
yeah,
right?
They're optional. But like, I guess I wish
it's not like developers are forcing cheat codes down your gullet.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, oh, if you have the infinite lives glitch, then you never get the experience of how frustrating X, Y, and Z are.
But I've made a game more enjoyable for that reason. Like I played Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb back on the original Xbox. Yeah, the original one. And if you look up reviews for that game, I'm sure you'll find one of the common complaints is that the floor was really slippery, and so it was hard to stop, and ledges didn't have any like stopping things. So if you just like ran up to a ledge and like let go of the controller, your character would like slip off the side and then like die.
Oh, okay.
And just in general, that game might have been frustrating. I don't know, because I played the entire game with infinite health and infinite ammo, I believe.
Really?
And, yeah, and I enjoyed it. It is like I have fond memories of that game. It was I thought it was a ton of fun. And you could easily make the game boring for yourself by doing that, by just like, oh, there's a gun in the game. The revolver, I think, kills like every normal enemy in one hit. Because you're supposed to have 6 bullets in the entire level, and that's it. You can't pick up more ammo. It's just like a get out of jail free card, basically.
Yeah.
But I just never used that gun, right? I just enjoyed, I would just have fun doing other stuff, whatever. It's like I didn't purposely make the game less fun for myself because I could. I just like it was infinite health. The only downside to infinite health is if you did fall off a cliff, you wouldn't die. So you'd just be at the bottom of the map, not able to move, and you had to quit out of the game and restart.
That is an interesting fail save.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was great. But so I love that game with glitches, with cheat codes, not glitches. Glitches are different.
Totally different.
But so there's an example of a game where it's like maybe that game would have been less entertaining or more frustrating if I played it the first time without cheat codes. I don't know because I didn't. So
yeah,
I have no clue what that game plays like for normal people. I just know that my experience with it was a ton of fun.
I think the last. So this isn't in a sense cheat codes, but in Resident Evil 5,
okay,
which we have this on the channel, or at least we have segments of it on the channel.
We will have the whole game.
I have platinum the game and 100%ed the campaign. I can't say 100% of the game because there's like a whole mercenary and versus thing that I don't want to get into. So as far as the single player goes, I 100%ed it, and they make you work for it, but you get infinite ammo.
Yeah, same thing with Metal Gear Solid 4, right? You can work for infinite ammo.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You work for it, but eventually when you get the bandana and the stealth option, that game totally different.
Right.
But in Resident Evil 5, the difficulty, like, nothing else changes. You don't get infinite lives or whatever, but when you have infinite ammo and you don't need to reload or whatever, that changes everything.
Bottomless clip is different from infinite
Bottomless
ammo.
clip is different from infinite ammo.
It is its own kind of special monster.
It is absolutely special. You literally never have to reload. With some guns, it becomes disgusting.
Right. It like changes the way some guns are like.
Yeah.
Like some guns are balanced to have to reload.
Yeah. Oh man. But in Resident Evil 5, literally your guns are just infinite ammo. So that changes everything because some guns are like way overpowered and completely change the game. And that's like a horror action game. So the fact that you no longer have any sense of fear.
It becomes more action and less horror.
Yeah, and it makes the game so much fun, but you got to work for it. You can't just have it.
Sorry if I'm adjusting my microphone during this recording. It's this was a little on the fly.
Yeah. It's really weird. Do you see how choppy it's getting?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Hopefully it's recording fine.
Yeah, really.
I should probably be slapping on some headphones just to make sure that that's coming across well. Sorry if I'm making all kinds of noises.
No problem. I'll probably leave them out for like realness sake.
But no, it sounds fine, I think.
Yeah. It's really weird. It's really weird to be everything about this.
But yeah, so anyway, so the reason this is coming up is because Doom Eternal...
there it goes. It flattened itself back out.
Okay. It
it's
must
really
just
weird.
be like, I don't know. The reason this came up is because Doom Eternal just came out recently, and they put the cheat codes back in the gamers' hands, back in the hands of gamers.
But you have to find them. You can't just insert them.
No, but even making cheat codes a reward, I think, is kind of like glorifying cheat codes.
Oh yeah, no, that's fantastic. And the fact that they're not hard to find, like you can be like, they're here.
Collectibles, right? It shouldn't be like, oh, you have to beat the game on ultra hard mode to get the first cheat code, and every time sequentially that you beat the whole game on ultra hard.
That's dumb. Resident Evil 5 was kind of a lot of work, considering it was like, what was it? You had to beat levels. No. What did you have to do? You had to, yes, you get points by beating levels under certain, like, you got an A+ on the amount of zombies you killed, or you got an A on time, and it would like give you a score at the very end for the entirety of the level. And if like you got an S rank, it'd be like 2,000 points.
Okay.
And like a certain gun would cost like, the first handgun is only 3,000 points to get infinite ammo, but like a really good gun would be like 20,000 points to get an infinite. Yeah, so it's like you could work for it,
right?
But you could like selectively pick which individual gun you get. So like I'd always go to like either the Lightning Hawk or the S&W M500 is also always a one-shotter for bosses.
See, that's the thing is like I don't know if I'd want to encourage like being forced to grind for for like cheats, I guess.
Well, you did it like by the end of your first gameplay, you could pretty much buy like 2 infinite ammo weapons.
Okay.
So, and then if you beat the whole game in under 5 hours, you automatically get the infinite ammo rocket launcher.
Haha. Classic.
Yes, and I believe every boss requires like only 3 max. Some require only 1.
Okay. See, I think I'm just kind of like
the RPG shot.
I'm more on board with like the Doom Eternal style or the Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I know you could replay missions with cheat codes. I don't remember how you unlocked the cheat codes. I know there's a way. I know you didn't get them all. You had to like unlock them somehow.
I actually didn't know there was cheat codes on Brotherhood.
I actually, the fun story about me, anyone who's familiar with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, there was a system where you had your helper assassins and you had to like level them up by sending them away on missions.
Yes.
So there's a cheat code that if you replay a mission, you can activate you can make all of your assassins highest level, full, like basically have all the maximum number of assassins, all the highest level, and all female.
That's oddly specific.
I believe it was one cheat code that did all those 3 things. I don't know why. So I activated that for fun for a mission because I just like activated all the cheat codes, whatever, for the mission.
Yeah. And
then once the mission was over and I went back into the game, it stayed that way. I had all of my helper assassins all max level and all female.
Finally.
And it's still that way to this day, I believe. I finally 100% completed that game like years afterwards because of some dumb thing. But
really? Even all the multiplayer trophies and stuff?
No, not multiplayer. Sorry. I always forget that multiplayer existed.
Yeah, that's actually something that really bummed me out. I platinumed.
Yeah, I did not platinum the game, but I 100%ed the campaign.
Yeah, I platinumed...
which is harder in that game than you might think.
What's it called? Assassin's Creed 2, but I didn't 100% it. I think the only game where I've 100%ed it and not platinumed it was Ratchet and Clank 2016, right. And that's because of a glitch. One trophy was glitched, but other than that, I have like 100% completion, and I'm 1 trophy away from getting the platinum, and it just won't work for me.
There's a couple games that I've 100%ed, but if they have multiplayer trophies, then obviously I don't platinum them.
Yeah, I wish there was some kind of like alternate around it where it's like, oh yeah, kill 50 human players and then like they patch it later where it's like,
Right.
oh, you can play with bots and
Yeah.
like that
Yeah.
kill 50 like high ranking or like
Right.
hard bots or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, I don't want to get too deep into the like multiplayer achievements, but I usually dislike them for no other reason than they're like just bad achievements in general. They're like, oh yeah, get to level like 50
Yeah.
and also like win 500 matches while being the only player on your team because the rest of the team
That's
quit
excessive.
in the
Yeah,
team
yeah.
deathmatch. You're like,
Yeah, that's why I don't like games that are I mean, I don't play multiplayer games just for fun.
yeah,
I
neither
like
do I.
someone has to be like, "Hey, do you want to play this?"
Right.
And I'll be like, "I guess sure, yeah," but I won't play multiplayer games with myself. Mostly for that reason is that it's kind of meant to be played forever. I'm
Right.
like,
They're like time consuming stuff, and that can be fun. But
but
yeah, there's like lots of other fun things as well that are their own kind of time consuming, I guess. I don't really like games that are time consuming for the sake of it, just generally speaking. I I'm willing to pay for a shorter experience as long as it's solid and tight and fun.
yeah.
Like I really enjoyed The Order 1886. I think I brought that up on the channel before. Game gets bad reviews, and to some degree it deserves it. That is a very, very short game. But I mean, we even talked about
But
it
that's
in our
it, right? It's like just the
it's
shortness.
literally
Like,
just the short. I mean, we've
um,
talked about it in the Fallen Order playthrough, where the game I personally felt was very, very solidly built in every single category except for length. And because of that, charging $60 on it, I get it, right? I wouldn't pay $60 for that game either. Even as much as I like it, I wouldn't pay $60. It's just too short. It's so short. But it was a fun game. Like it's hard to discount how enjoyable of an experience it was, despite it being a short, tight experience, just because it was, whatever, short.
yeah, and to be fair, it was I guess it was released February 2015, but it was like early PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yes, I love the art direction on it.
Yeah, it holds up like really, really good. As far like I mean, the raindrops are like when
Yes.
you pause the game.
It was one of the first photo modes I ever used in a game, and it looked incredible. I have a lot of photos on my PlayStation 4 from playing that game. Like it looked better than like I think it came out. No, it didn't. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was gonna say it came out around the same time as Black Flag, but I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's by Ready at Dawn.
Yeah, which I don't even know if that company's around anymore.
I believe this was I'll look it up right now.
But I'm definitely more on board with.
The last games were Lone Echo and Deformers.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I haven't heard of either. Actually, yeah, I have heard of Deformers. Deformers is like a fun, playful game. I don't know if you'll remember it. I believe there was like an E3 about it. Here, there's a picture. I'll flash it on screen.
No, I honestly don't.
You cycle through, maybe you'll remember.
Maybe.
I remember seeing it and I was like, oh, that's cute, I guess.
I really don't remember this. I mean, it looks distinctive enough that I would, but it doesn't. It really doesn't look familiar to me. It's weird. Sorry if I was quiet earlier.
No problem. I'll boost you at the 13-minute mark.
Yeah. So, but yeah, as far as, back to cheat codes and the effectiveness of cheat codes, I really like the way that Doom does it, where it's like a simple collectible to get, and I think it's a fun reward for people who are into those kinds of things. It can, I think it should be, cheat codes, I don't know, making them hard to get is then it's like, I guess you deserve the cheat code at that point at least. But I feel like people who like cheat codes are not the same group of people that like the difficult challenge it took to get the cheat code.
Yeah, I guess.
Who knows? Maybe they are. I'm sure there's markets for everything.
Even if it's not difficult, I just think that it shouldn't be the first run, just because it'll change the way you play aspects of whatever it is. I guess it really depends on what kind of game it is.
Right.
Like, let's say you have a Pokemon game. I don't think a Pokemon game should ever technically allow you to have the cheat codes, because that kind of breaks the entirety of the game.
I guess I played at some point. I feel like when I played Pokemon games, I was like, okay, I don't want to grind up to a level 100. Is there a way I can just like design?
But that's like the point of the game. That's why I was like, that's my best example, is because the whole point of that game is grinding and then battling what you grinded up with whatever set you have. But if you're level 100, you're already like roughly double what the Elite Four has.
Right, that's the thing. That's why it's like getting to that point is, I think, a little silly, because like, yeah, nothing else in the game is like at that level.
Well, yeah, it's just like at level 100, I mean, being level 100 is like nothing. It like means nothing,
Right.
unless you like specifically gonna like go for battle tower or like any of the,
Yeah.
like the extra content. But
Right.
like having
So
level 100 is like, I mean, moves that would normally do nothing at the same level can now be used. So it's like takes away the difficulty. Like the whole point, you might as well just not play it if you're going to miss the entirety of the point. I mean, that's not in the case like Doom. It's like definitely, oh yeah, if you're gonna play it and you had fun, oh well, now do it again with unlimited ammo. It's like, oh well, now I can take risks and not worry about it, or
right.
now I can use my favorite gun the entirety of the time.
I mean, but then like, Pokemon is one of the games that I have played with cheats. Like, so
Exclusively, like from start.
have
Because
I
if there's
played a
only
Pokemon
one
game
cheat
with
I wish
cheats?
you could do for Pokemon is choose something beyond a starter. I wish they were like, okay, here's every stage 1 Pokemon that isn't a legendary in this region. Which one would you like to start out with?
Mm,
And like that's like the only thing I wish we could change. But
yeah.
I think that's just a feature.
I don't
Game
know if I've
Freak.
ever played. I don't know if I've ever cheated from the start of a game. Although actually, kind of, my very first Pokemon game I ever owned, Pokemon Silver it was for the Game Boy Color, but I played it on the Game Boy Advanced. When I got to the first gym, after the first gym, before the second gym,
Okay.
I had a friend who had a level 99 Fraligator, and he traded it to me.
Wow.
Yes, after the first gym. So I had a level 99 Fraligator for the majority of that game. And it is still my favorite Pokemon game, question mark? Maybe, I mean, there's there's Soul Silver now, so, there's that. But as far as, like,
Yeah, I've played Pokemon Ruby with a Game Shark, so that my second Pokemon was level 100 Mew, shiny.
wow.
Yeah, and that was interesting. So I have played a Pokemon game.
Right. So, I mean, it's just
But it just defeated the purpose because you still have to go through all the story beats.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, here's my Mew. Boom, you're dead. It's like,
Right.
oh, well, now.
I mean, to be fair, has that changed, though? I mean, like, I saw you, whatever. I don't know. I feel like the grind, I guess I'm not a big fan of grinding. I think Pokemon games just aren't for me. And so, like, taking away that
I'm not
aspect.
a fan of grinding, but I'm a fan of improvement.
I don't know.
So like Doom has RPG elements, but you can't, like the mastery that you have to do for guns. You have to like earn that.
Yeah.
And like luckily that's fun gameplay. Like
Right.
Pokemon grinding isn't fun.
Right. That's what I'm saying is like
But-
if you get to a gym leader in Pokemon and your Pokemon are underleveled, then your options are to get real good, pray to RNGesus, or just go out and grind. And if,
Of course.
and that's just the way the game's designed. And it's like, I don't know, at some point I might be like, like, can I just keep playing the game? Is that an option? Like, can I wish there was like a level matching feature or something where it's like, could you imagine there was a Pokemon game that had no levels? Where just like all Pokemon are the same level and it's just your skill.
I mean, that's how like the anime works, right?
Right, exactly. I think I'd enjoy Pokemon more that way. I don't like that it's based off of like, yeah, if my Pokemon's higher level, I'm gonna beat you. It does like types don't matter. Like if I'm
Well, I
if
mean,
I'm
that's the
5
whole
levels
point,
higher, I'm
is
done.
that you're supposed to be stronger. Usually, I mean, there's not much of a gap. I think like eight levels is where I'd say like, oh, you can have considerably difficult time trying to take that on. Like
Yeah.
5 levels isn't too bad depending on what you're using, but like I feel like just under 10 is where it starts getting stinky hard to win.
Yeah, because I don't think I ever paid attention to type matches. I think I just grinded until it was like easy enough to just keep moving on. And I was just like, that probably isn't the way the game's supposed to be played, but
Yeah.
I was a kid, so.
Well, I mean, the way kids play is usually they like level up their starter like considerably higher than the rest of the team.
Yeah, my
But-
starter usually ended up being a higher level, but it was I mean, I always like to think it was because I had it first, so I mean, it was just one matter of like,
Yeah.
I for a long time that's all I used until I got other Pokemon.
Yeah, and then different Pokemon at different rates too. Like
Oh.
specifically, like certain Pokemon level up faster or slower than others.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I believe in the playthrough, I don't know, right now I'm doing on the channel of Pokemon Let's Go. I don't know if you've noticed, but like Venusaur is always considerably higher level than the other ones.
No, I didn't.
He like grows at a faster rate, I believe.
That's crazy. Yeah, I had a friend
Yeah.
when I used to live in a faraway place that we won't talk about. And he
Well,
played
that's weird.
Yeah.
That's a weird way to approach that. I mean, we are from Vietnam, but go ahead.
So he played the way he played Pokemon is that all of his Pokemon in his party had to be the same level always. So as soon as one Pokemon leveled up, he would go and grind until all the other Pokemon were also leveled up.
I actually started. I mean, now the EXP share goes to your whole party,
Right.
but now I go back and I do that for certain games, depending on which. Like I've replayed Leaf Green, I think like last year,
Hmm.
and I did that, but mostly not because I wanted them to like be.
But I mean, he did it like as he played through the game, like every single, whatever. It's just like all the Pokemon were level 5, and then as soon as he like caught a new one, if it wasn't level 5, he'd level up to 5.
Oh no.
And then as soon as one Pokemon got to level 6, then all the other ones had to be leveled up through level 6 through grinding. It was like, I mean, I think that's called a little, obsessive compulsive
It was
personality.
like whenever I got to like a new city, I'd be like, oh well, I'm not prepared for this. These two are on my team, but the rest aren't. So let's go grind these guys out. And I was like, oh yeah, they should be able to handle it from here on in.
No, this guy was every single time any Pokemon level. Like when I looked at his screen, all of his Pokemon were exactly level like 40 or something like that. And I was like, oh. And he's like, yeah, one of them's about to level up to 41 soon, so the other one's got to get on that grind. I was like, oh no.
He has like a whip in his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that was dumb about the anime, where I get it, like from a marketing standpoint, where the fighting gym. Have you seen the new anime like shorts for Sword and Shield?
No, I haven't.
Okay, there's one where it's the fighting trainer, gym trainer, whatever, and she's like training with her Pokemon, and so they're like all lifting rocks, and throughout the episode she's like clearly doing way more work than her Machamp, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, she's not gonna fight at all during the battle. Like, it doesn't matter how strong she is.
She's just working out.
Right, her Machamp is lame because it can't even lift as much as a tiny girl. She's a very, very small girl.
She's all muscle.
Yeah, and it's like girl, like maybe you should focus on your Pokemon's training and they'd be a little stronger. How about that? Could you imagine having to be the first gym leader, and like as soon as a Pokemon gets too strong, you have to let him go because they like I'm sorry,
bud.
Yeah, I'm the first gym leader. So
well, I guess you don't have to use them in your gym, right? I mean,
no.
Again, that goes back to the whole power scaling thing. I wish you could just like approach any gym in any order, and then they would like power scale to you.
That's
maybe like in increments.
I would rather there just not be levels, and you just have to like.
It would be based off of what Pokemon you had, like just.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh yeah, like I have an Onix and you have a Pikachu, so you can't possibly win.
Yeah, I get. Is that type disadvantage like terrible? I don't know anything about Pokemon.
In the early game, Pikachu doesn't learn anything besides normal and electric attacks, and Onix is rock and ground. So all of his electric don't affect, and all of his stuff is resistant. But Onix, all rock Pokemon have a very distinct. All their defense is really high. So normal attacks are almost exclusively physical, except for like some like tri-attack and like some of them like that are like heals. So like Pikachu has like absolutely no chance against an Onix. Even like a level 50 Pikachu probably can't beat a level 30 Onix.
I should probably clarify. I know any Pokemon fans out there, I know for a fact Pokemon would probably not work at all if leveling didn't exist.
Yeah, no, it like absolutely won't work as a concept, but
because then you could have because then there just wouldn't be any progression in the game, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, because I told Adam before Sword and Shield come out, I would have loved it if there was a like you went through the gyms the first time and they would be like scaled by level the way they are normally, and then I wanted there to be like a second challenge where it was like, okay, you figured out the game, hopefully by this point. Like, you've gotten to, like, an ending, right? In most Pokemon games, that'd be it. You go through all the gyms, it's over.
Yeah.
Go through Elite Four or whatever. But I wanted there to be a mode where it's, like, a second group of gyms where leveling is thrown out the window. Like, all Pokemon are auto-scaled to the same level. Whatever level it is, it doesn't matter. 80, 100, 40, whatever. It doesn't matter. Point is that... and then it would all be based off of your skill and knowledge of Pokemon and what their stats are and how well they interact and what the types advantages and disadvantages are and, who you're going up against and what Pokemon you need to bring and stuff like that.
That's how the battle tower works.
Yeah. Something
you're all
like,
scaled to either 50 or 100.
Right. And that was in Emerald, right?
It's a couple of games.
Okay. The Emerald was the one where I thought they had a battle tower or something like that.
They have the entire frontier. They have
and that I love that. That was like, Emerald is my second favorite Pokemon game because they did something like that where they're like, like if you understand Pokemon, like let's get this dumb like level thing out of the way. That doesn't show your skill. It shows how much time you're willing to put into it.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. That's way off topic though. So point is, Doom Eternal's fun, and they have cheat codes as part of it, and there's things that I think Doom Eternal does super well, and that's one of them. Many other things that Doom Eternal does well includes like the gameplay is more fast paced, and if you're into difficulty, they crank that up a little bit.
They cranked it up. It's definitely hard in the first game.
Yeah, the first game, I replayed one of the later levels, and once you have that infinite ammo and the turret that never overheats, you can shred.
A god amongst men.
Yeah, It's pretty fun. But then it feels like cheating, even though it's not. Those are like none of those are could possibly considered cheat codes. Those are the runes, which are just upgrades. But those
Yeah.
upgrades combined are that's something special.
I know, very stinky. I don't know if that was an oversight or they're like, oh yeah, let's just make this really like,
Right.
cheesy way to make
Yeah, I don't know
fantastic.
if it was planned the entire time, but that's great. I love that about the first game. But as far as like, the only issue I have with Doom Eternal that I don't think it matches up to the original Doom, which I was telling Adam right before we recorded, is just the what do you call it? Non-narrative storytelling. Just in the like character interactions and the level design and the way that just everything you like when the game starts, you like wake up and you're in this room and you like go see your suit and then you come out on Mars and it's this amazing vista and you just get this really good impression of everything that's going on, what's happening, how the Doom guy feels about it, how other characters feel about Doom guy, and none of it has to be spoken. It's just like this really incredibly well told
Environmental storytelling.
environmental storytelling. And that was something that like that exists in Doom Eternal, but it felt more arcadey in the sense that it felt just like set pieces in the world. It's like, oh, that looks cool over there. It doesn't necessarily tell me anything though.
It gets better.
Okay.
It gets better. That the beginning's a little like introduction-y.
Yeah.
Like the big, oh, here's Doom. It's harder than the last one. There's more to worry about. There's a lot to handle, but it's a lot more game.
Yeah.
It's a lot more. It's I don't know. Yeah, I'll say a lot more fun since you're here for like the mayhem and destruction and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, it is a lot more fun. But that whole first area is pretty lifeless.
Right. And I think it's
like, yeah, this is Doom. You're here to murder. Let's get this out of the way. And then immediately after, I'd say like the first like 3 hours or so, that game starts to feel basically when you go back to the Fortress of Doom, it feels a little bit more alive as a game.
okay, because I feel like if you were to show me any part of any level in the original Doom 2016, I would know exactly where you are, exactly what level. I mean, I might not be able to name the level number or whatever, but I'd be like, you could hand me the controller and I'd be like, oh yeah, I can take off from here. These level designs are so tight, so well made. It's story beat after story beat through this like side mission area, whereas it could be this way for Doom Eternal. I haven't seen enough of it, but I went back. Adam did a live stream on it. You can check that out. I watched it live with him. I commented. You can check my comments. And then I went back and rewatched it the second time. And the second time I didn't feel like, oh, we're back here at any point. I was like, yeah, that's just kind of a confusing mess of lots of stuff happening. And some of it doesn't even like some of it works as far as like combat arenas go, like those little platforms that fell. It was a cool concept, but it didn't like fit into the world the same way everything in Doom 2016 did.
It's definitely weird. I think it definitely.
There's no dumb like giant chains unless you're in hell. When you're in hell, then it's like
dumb giant chains.
Yeah, there are dumb giant chains, but there's not like they're not on fire and there's not like falling platforms and stuff. It like everything fit. Like you know?
It fits. It fits because Earth has been overrun with demons, so it's back to that like chains everywhere and like everything's made of flesh for some reason. And like, whoa, yeah, why is this building like covered in flesh? Like that's weird.
They like it that way.
Yeah, they like it that way. It's just really weird. But
demon interior decorating is a little different than human interior decorating, and I'll have you respect that about their culture.
If it grows or actually, yeah, at one point you destroy a demon nest, and it is literally like a giant heart that grows outwards and like changes the area. It's really weird. I don't know. It's not terraforming, isn't the word. I'm not sure what it is when you make something worse. But
I guess they're making it more inhabitable to themselves.
Maybe, yeah.
So it kind of is terraforming.
Yeah, I believe like the insides of demons are so hot that their bodies burn up after they die. Is like canonically the reason. So yeah, it's really weird. I'm not sure. But the floating platform and stuff, it's definitely a lot more arcadey. They added like 1-ups now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you literally when you die, you instantly pop back in sometimes.
Right, and stuff like that. Like I don't know, something about the weirdly, it's funny because Doom 2016 takes place entirely on Mars, but it felt more down to Earth.
Yeah.
Whereas Doom Eternal takes place on Earth and it feels less down to Earth somehow. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that this is something that they should have fixed or whatever. I'm just saying, like, if we're looking at Doom Eternal versus Doom 2016, just fair, honest, what are the differences? I think Doom Eternal does a lot of fun stuff for the better. It's more fun, definitely. But in doing that, I if we're speaking honestly, I think it did lose some aspect of, I don't want to throw out the word realism because it's Doom, but
it's definitely not realism.
Yeah, you feel that like groundedness of everything that happens where like, oh my goodness, when you do a glory kill on a Cacodemon in Doom Eternal and the eyeball comes out and it makes a loud popping noise, it's so silly. That does not happen in Doom 2016. Nothing like that happens in Doom 2016. It's not, like the murders are like you are ripping something
Yeah,
out.
I think
It doesn't make a stupid popping noise.
I honestly think, because I believe honestly now that I've played through both. I mean, I haven't played through Halo. I haven't played through Doom Eternal yet completely.
Yeah,
But,
how many levels in are you? Just so we know for the podcast.
I think 8.
8. Okay,
Yeah.
so anyone who has played through it, we're 8 level. He's 8 levels in. I've only seen the first
Uh,
2 levels.
So I've gotten really comfortable to the point where I feel like Doom 2016 was trying to like revamp Doom.
Yeah,
It was like, oh yeah, so this is the new Doom. It's tight. It looks great. It plays great.
right. It's gritty.
Yeah,
You know.
it's straight to the point. It's all about murder, and
Right.
like Doom guy doesn't have time for story, so neither do you. And,
Right.
like, but Doom Eternal is like, okay, we already have that. They already proved themselves. Id Software's like, okay, we're back. We're
Right,
really
right.
good.
Before you go on, I love aspect. This clearly won't transfer to everyone else, but I have not read a single codex in Doom 2016 because I don't believe Doom Guy would, and so I haven't.
Yeah,
Like,
he absolutely would not.
so that's the thing. It's like there's so much lore in Doom Eternal, and like as that was being thrown at me, I was like, this isn't Doom.
Yeah, it's
You know, and that stuff's petty, but it's just funny the difference in feeling when you're like going through Doom and you pick up a data pad. It's like it's there for people who care, but I feel like you're not supposed to care. I feel like you should be Doom Guy about it and be like, wow, I don't care what that says.
yeah. No, he just wants murder. But the thing is, this game is like weird because it's telling a story this time.
Yes.
Like if I told you the shortened down story of Doom 2016,
Oh, it's so short.
Hell invasion, Doom guy wakes up, Doom guy's real mad, kills everybody, finds out that there's that he can go to hell and kill some more, goes, and then comes back. And that's basically
Yeah.
the summarized plot of Doom 2016. This one,
Yeah, Doom 2016 is demons are bad. Doom Guy will do whatever Doom Guy will do to make them not
yeah.
not
in this
exist
one-
any longer.
In this one, we have the Fortress of Doom, which is literally Doom Slayer's Fortress of Doom in
Right.
space. And by the way, you get to see how his real life is. He has like guitars. He's like collects
Yeah.
vinyls and toys on the shelf. He has like a 3
He has a sick gaming
wide,
PC.
yeah, 3 widescreen monitors.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 keyboards too. Really big tower that's like clearly
So
all
much.
customed out. It's. I mean,
But then it's like I haven't seen enough of the story to know exactly how it is, but like when I saw Doom Guy, although that wasn't too bad, I guess. He like walked in and he talked to the maker or whatever. He didn't talk, obviously he's Doom Guy, but like
just looks real angry at you.
yeah. It's like some of it's like, man, like Doom Guy wouldn't care. Doom Guy shouldn't
Well,
care.
see, here's the thing, right? Is that the original Doom?
Yeah.
I believe the story is that he is like a soldier on Mars,
Yeah.
and
Space
like
Marine.
that's it. Yeah, and then they invade, and then Doom 2 is that the demons invade Earth, and then Doom guy's like, okay, whatever, and then they kill his rabbit,
Yes.
and then he's like, I'm gonna kill you all, and that's like the story behind Doom 2.
Right.
There is a portrait in the Doom Slayer's, I guess, bro area where it's him and his rabbit. So it's like, okay,
Yes.
no, clearly that is canonically part
Right.
that he loves his rabbit.
He loves his
He
rabbit.
loves his rabbit.
That is the only thing Doom Guy should ever care
yeah,
about.
he absolutely loves his
That
rabbit.
and murder.
He looks like he would. He has 3 guitars, 3 metal
Yes.
or electric guitars, which I totally. Oh yeah, he clearly loves metal. Like,
Right.
he has a vinyl. He exclusively plays them through vinyls though. Which is interesting. So he's a man of like classy
Yeah, I mean,
analog.
I think
sound.
it's just because the I think it's all like because he also has a very ancient looking like gaming setup there. He has like
Yeah.
a Commodore 64. On
Oh
the
yeah,
table
he
or
also
something.
has like a comp. No, it's like I think it's like a Windows 95 dot like running.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's supposed to. I think what they're trying to go for is the original PC that released for Doom.
Right. So I think that's like some of the stuff he
Yeah.
has are like vinyls were out at that time and like just kind of the set and just like heavy metal has always been that sort of aesthetic of like accent looking
This is
like
Doom,
electric
yeah.
guitars and
But he also
So-
has his toy collection, which is like canonical since he collected toys from the last game
Yeah,
as well.
that's
He loves little figurines.
that's adorable. I love that Doom Guy has 2 loves in life. A, murder. B, adorable objects.
Yeah, and then he also has those books. He has a bookshelf
Yeah.
that he has a reading chair.
Yeah, that was interesting.
yeah.
His reading chair was very metal. I mean,
Yeah.
everything there is very
He
metal.
is clearly way more like he has a side that we're just not seeing. It's like one of those like, oh, he's a sophisticated man. He just loves slaying demons,
Yeah.
you know. So that kind of takes precedence. But no, there's a lot more. I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a lot more environmental storytelling that comes on later on. You can just really tell that first half is like trying to an introductory period to like trying to teach you the mechanics, teach you that this game is hard but fair. It's arcadey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely more arcadey, and I don't think I
way more arcade.
absolutely don't think that's a bad thing. Like they even allowed them to use stuff like cheat codes that like fit more in with the arcadey aesthetic, and I thought that was great. I think a lot of things that they're doing at Doom Eternal are great. But yeah, it was just it's very interesting to do that simultaneously with the Doom 2016 playthrough on the channel.
Yeah,
Which check that out if you haven't. No one's watching it right now, so
I actually totally forgot that the original point of this was cheat codes.
yes, we've been
yeah,
talking about cheat codes this
rambled,
entire
and
time.
it somehow switched to like all Doom.
Right.
Doom's great. Play both games. They're both really good.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're both worth their merits.
You can pick up Doom for like $10 now.
Right.
So
And it's not super long. It's a good length. I'd say it's a good like 10 hours or something like
12.
that. 12 hours, yeah.
Yeah, because this one's supposed to be 24. It's supposed to double the length.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's a solid game. I mean, $10 easily a solid game. But speaking of games that are too short for their price, like 1984 or 1884, bringing it back around. 1886. Yes, the Order 1886.
Yeah, okay,
My goodness. Yeah, no, Doom is definitely a game where at $60 for 12 hours worth of game, some people that might not be enough considering games exist like The Witcher, which are like hundreds of hours.
I don't like that people get on games for being quote unquote too short when the quality is super super well. Like there is that argument, quality versus quantity.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I mean, like Breath of the Wild, I think is so good because the game without all the nonsense you can do is still like fundamentally and in a physics engine kind of way, still like a fun experience.
Yeah.
But it's like games where like they're entirely quality. I mean, sorry, entirely quantity. Sometimes fall apart like entirely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So-
I mean, obviously you and I are not very quantity focused people because we're super into the gaming industry as a whole.
But even so, like, I'm gonna get panned for this, absolutely. But I think Skyrim is a terrible game.
Right.
Mostly because it kind of is, if you think about it, as far as like a good game goes, like build wise, like. Is it full of glitches? Does it crash all the time? Yeah, it does those things.
But so does like good? Fallen Order, and I've been wondering why do I apologize for Fallen Order and not Skyrim?
So,
because Donkey, not to bring in other YouTubers, but I just recently finally got around to watching.
Well, he's like a celebrity. He's like beyond.
I saw Donkey's video of Fallen Order. Finally, it came out forever ago. I just didn't want to spoil anything, and no, I watched his like best games of 2019 video, and he seemed to really hate Fallen Order in that video. He gave Sekiro Game of the Year. Another YouTuber who gave Sekiro Game of the Year. And for me, I was like, man, like I love Fallen Order. But his complaints was like, yeah, I couldn't go like 20 minutes without hitting a horrible bug, which obviously wasn't true for me. I hit maybe 3 glitches in the whole game, maybe 4.
I want to say I had only like 3 glitches, but 2 of them were crashes, like in total kick out.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, and luckily, I zoomed back in. I didn't lose too much progress.
Right, that didn't happen to me at all. I was no glitch ever affected my gameplay in any way.
Yeah, no.
They usually just would like knock me off of a cliff and you lose like an eighth of your health bar. Could not get used to that. In Borderlands, you completely die and lose 10% of your total money if you fall off a cliff. It's this huge punishing thing that happens.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I totally forgot. I was playing that side by side with Fallen Order, where falling off a cliff is like falling off a cliff in Zelda. Like you lose nothing.
Yeah, like a quarter of a heart. Or something
yeah. You lose absolutely nothing. So like, yeah, I had a couple glitches where I would, I countered attack someone and then I was teleported like 5 feet away off of the cliff somehow, and it was silly and funny, and I barely lost any health for it. And it was, but if something like that happened in like Fallout or Skyrim, I would play that game forever.
The problem with those that happens a lot, like a lot. In
Maybe
fact,
that's it.
That's why I said like The Witcher is literally a good example. People talk about Skyrim in the way that they talk about The Witcher.
Yes.
And for a long time, I actually hated Bethesda because I was like, they can't make a good game. They literally cannot. All the games crash. All the games are buggy.
It sure does feel like it.
Yeah, they're all broken. And for some reason, I was literally scared. I was like, it literally took Fallout 76 for you guys to finally see this. Like, I have no idea. All the complaints that are
Dishonored wasn't too bad. It wasn't the most glitchy thing of all time. Dishonored 2 was not great.
Is it Bethesda games?
Yes.
Really? Interesting.
Yes.
Well, I mean, those are like more narrowed, directed. We're talking about like open world experiences.
Yeah. I always thought those were like, but I mean, you're talking about like, that's how bad it was. Like, I mean, we're looking at Bethesda games as like, no, literally, like, not a single thing those guys can put out seemed to be like.
Yeah, but they were getting praised for everything. Fallout 4.
Yeah.
They were like that game crashed on me, I think like 6 times on PS4 before I gave up on it. Um, Skyrim. The reason I dislike it is because the first time, granted, it was the PS3 port, and the PS3 port is like known to be broken, but I couldn't get past the first 2 hours. I had to redo the game. Yeah, the wagon scene. I got stuck in an infinite loop with the wagon. It like
Oh
went
no.
beyond the like cue point that would activate the cutscene,
Oh shoot.
and like ran into a wall and then crashed. And then I loaded it up and like it happened again.
That's crazy.
And then I loaded it up and then what happened in that first bit? Like a dragon comes
Yeah.
and like you're gonna get executed.
Yeah.
All the sound and audio clip played, no dragon.
Wow.
It's just a lot of things. I got stuck
That's
in a
crazy.
lock picking the first time you go to lock pick.
Yeah.
The hands came up, or sorry, the little picks came up. Game
Yeah.
crashed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I was like, this is terrible. This is a terrible experience.
Okay. I mean,
Um,
have you ever given that game a try on like a PC or something? Like a
So yeah, I actually started watching a little bit of Skyrim gameplay
Okay.
afterwards on PC, and it was awful. It looked awful. Everything was extremely boring. There was like 6 voice actors for that entire game.
Yeah, I don't. Okay,
The
so
concept was Dragonborn, go do X, Y, and Z, and that was
Yeah.
the entirety of the game. I
Oh,
didn't
the-
even know what the plot of
no,
the
the
story
plot's
was.
impossible to follow.
But there wasn't seem to it wasn't everything was bad about it, and I'm not sure everyone seems to have such good looking glass,
Right.
rear view looking glass, and but when they talk about The Witcher,
Yeah.
they talk about all the same things, but The Witcher did it good.
I mean,
And
I don't.
Breath of the Wild did all those same things, but they did it good. You go
I-
back and play Skyrim, the hit detection feels like it's non-existent. It feels like your
Eh.
hands are literally just flailing, and there's just numbers. Like none of it feels alive.
Yeah.
And so Skyrim, as far as the game goes, I don't think is a good game at all. And that is literally just, what if we just take all of these like pointless fetch quests and just stretch it out as hard as we can? And like that game feels lifeless. All of Fallout feels lifeless. I'm not like flacking the like Elder Scrolls like lore. It's just as far as a game goes, like what builds a game, the quality of a game. Like the color palette is even like that dirty time where like every game was like brown and gray.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I played through Skyrim. I don't remember how far I got before I just kind of got bored. And I think I found that those games are just for a certain kind of person, where the game was really liberating compared to any other game I'd played at that time. I'd never played a game when that game came out that was as open as Skyrim. Because there's games like Assassin's Creed where they're open world with big air quotes, but all the main missions have to be done in order, and you just kind of go to them, and then you go to the next one, whatever. And there's like side missions, but those unlock as the main missions do.
Well, I feel like Fallout is literally the better version of Skyrim.
It could be, but
Like by far. I feel like the
Fallout
Fallout
4
universe
hadn't come out yet by that point, right?
I mean, Fallout 4 is basically Fallout 3.
So for a lot of people, right, Fallout 3 was this experience. I hadn't played Fallout 3, so for me, the first game like this was Skyrim. And I wasn't into it. It's not my kind of game. But I could see someone drop into that kind of game, and you can do anything. As soon as you get past that whole intro segment, you are free to go literally anywhere. As soon as you get out of the like first dungeon, and you can do, other than the main story, you have to do that in order. You can go to like the end game location and like talk to people there and get missions there and stuff like that. It's like totally open what order you take anything, and everything feels like self-discovery because there's no, other than the main missions, which just kind of happen. I mean, it's more like Just Cause, where like there are main missions, they are in order, but that's like the least important part of the game.
Yeah, of course. But I guess the underlying root I have here is that the quantity is there.
Yeah.
The quality isn't.
No, and I think it's more like the first Borderlands game, right? I played that on the channel.
Oh
and-
yeah, no, that when I try to go back and watch some episodes here and there out of order because I would dart in at random points, and it's like a lot of that game is just like you'll have like an encounter of like a
Yeah.
couple of enemies, and then it's like just open like rock area just
Yeah.
everywhere, and then you have to walk like long distances.
Yeah, Borderlands 1 is designed really poorly
Yeah,
compared to
it's like
Borderlands 2.
That game is absolutely stretched.
Yeah,
it is like
it's so
stretched
bad.
out so they could say, "Oh, the map is huge." Well,
It's
sometimes having a huge map isn't good.
yeah, no, it's not. I don't know if Final Fantasy 15 has that same problem, but
It does.
there are so many stretches of like places that don't need to exist. And you know what? Borderlands is even like extra bad where Like, there's definitely places on that map where I know for a fact I never went, because you don't. Not only do you not have to go there, there's no reason to choose to go there. Like, it's like that level of like, no, this is just badly designed. And I think got better about that, I think, with the later games. I personally feel they got better. I don't know about Borderlands 3. I haven't played Borderlands 3. But like pre-sequel was really, really condensed maps. Like the maps were definitely not nearly as big, and they're a bit more linear because of that, I think. But because they didn't have so much like running around doing nothing, because there's so much freaking open space in that. But that came out at the same time as like, Assassin's Creed 2. That was when like the big open worlds were the thing, and Skyrim and stuff like that. But Skyrim did that better, right? At that time, Skyrim was the one game where you could just like, Borderlands was a good example of not needing an open world. An open world did not benefit Borderlands in any way.
True.
So it was just one of those things where like, I think a lot of people clicked with Skyrim just because it was kind of that, it was very popular to have open world games at the time. And Skyrim was the one that was the most open. It wasn't like Breath of the Wild. I mean, it kind of was in that way, right? Where
Breath of the Wild did it. That's what I'm saying, is that Breath of the Wild did it good, and I was super surprised.
But that's like a decade later, right?
That is a decade later, but it didn't have to be. Like that game is fun without having. If that game was traditional, like very straightforward corridor sense, they still had a fun physics engine. The game is still fun to play without the giant open world. There's still the sense of discovery, which is great in games. And Skyrim is big, it's open, and it has the sense of discovery. But the base game by itself wasn't good.
I mean, to be fair, the physics engine might have needed to come a decade later, just because it had to be a well-made physics engine, I guess.
I mean,
I don't know if you can run.
The Source engine is like known for that, right? Extremely physics engine. Half-Life 1 and 2. Source 2, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress. That's like the. That's
could
like
they
the first...
have run Breath of the Wild though? I mean, they're good, but like.
Well, I'm saying like they could have had that's Half-Life is a narrowed, directed experience that uses a really good physics engine.
Don't tell me about the narrow, directed experience of Half-Life. That's a different podcast. I'm sure that's come up on the. I'm not going to break that up here. I had a bad time with Half-Life. We all know about it.
I love Half-Life.
Adam fell asleep on me, and it went bad.
Half-Life is so good.
I had a checkpoint where I had 1 health, and it was the worst place checkpoint of all time.
I love it. I mean, that game's a good game, but you have to remember.
Such a bad experience with that game.
Halo 2 apparently has really bad checkpointing.
You know what has a bad checkpoint? My God, what was I just playing? Doom. Freaking Doom.
2016?
2016 in the Argent facility, or the Argent Tower. No. Argent facility, I think.
When you say the Argent facility, you mean the Argent facility? Like the level, the Argent facility?
Yeah, the level leading up to the Argent Tower level.
Okay.
I just recently was replaying through Doom 2016, so I kind of have the level names in my brain.
Uh-huh.
It's the one where you get the thruster boots, which I think is Argent Tower. You first get the thruster boots, and there's this one part at the beginning level, I don't know if you remember, we have to cross this like really narrow walkway and jump like back and forth across this like wide gap, and there's like a couple imps there. And
yeah, okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You like go along, I don't know if it's like a fuel line, I don't know what like
I wouldn't know how to describe it. There's like a little train that, or something should be going through that area.
Yeah, it looks like there's some purpose to it. Anyway, that entire facility, that entire stretch has to be done like in the same order. If you fall off at any point, you go back to the beginning of it, to before the beginning of it, I think. And it takes a long time to get through that, because you have to go all the way down to the end, then come all the way back, and then go all the way back down to the end. And then there's a jump that is a double jump that's difficult. And if you miss that jump after playing through this same area 3 times, you have to start at the beginning, and all the enemies respawn. You have to go through it once, and then back again.
That's fantastic.
And then you jump off, and you miss, and then you go through it once, and then back again. I did it 3 times, and on the 3rd time I discovered that there's actually a shortcut, and you only have to go through it once, and you can get right up on top right there. We didn't find it when we were playing. Yeah, I felt dumb, but I was trying to collect everything, so I did the 3 times again. So I got so angry with that game.
I love it.
I hated that checkpoint system so much. There was a nice place they could have put a checkpoint, and they did not put it there, and I was.
Yeah, checkpointing is something I can't overstep. Everyone should know exactly. Like, don't checkpoint someone right in the middle of like Oh,
Yeah.
sandwiched between two war zones or two like
Right.
groups of enemy
Or it would
encounters
be
with
nice
no
if you
life.
just like gave a little health back in a checkpoint Half-Life. Like spawn me with like 30 health at least if I'm below 30 or something.
Yeah.
It's a little silly to checkpoint me with 1 health and like there's nothing I can do about it. And the enemies in Half-Life have such good aim. They have faster response time than you do.
Yeah.
You have to
great.
you have to know where they are, and then even that doesn't help sometimes. So anyway, I don't know. I hate that game. But since this podcast is about cheats,
Yes.
Skyrim, very, very, very famous
Yes.
for its modding community, which are kind of cheats.
Is it though?
There are cheats, I think, in Skyrim. You can get like infinite health and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, of course. But like, I don't know. When I think of like mods, especially for Skyrim, I think of like replacing all dragons with Thomas the Train or something like.
And isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, but that's like, I don't know, an asset change.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't say a cheat. It doesn't change
No.
the experience. It changes like.
I've
you know,
definitely
that's
seen-
Thomas the Train.
I've had some cheat code. Like in Just Cause, there's a Just Cause 4. There's a cheat. Just Cause 3. There's a cheat where you just make your head big, and everyone you shoot, it makes their heads inflate every time you shoot them.
Oh yes, okay. I know the exact one.
Yeah, and that's a cheat, right? It's just an asset change. It doesn't affect the
guess,
experience except making
yeah.
it silly. And so I don't know. I think it's kind of the are mods cheats question of the day. Say in the comments down below. Are assets cheats? Wow. Are you still listening at this point? It has been a long time. Anyone still with us? Thank you so much. You're wonderful human
Yeah.
beings. We don't have to tell you to subscribe because if you're still listening, you probably already have.
Yeah. Super appreciate you.
Yeah.
Super duper.
But yeah, I mean that's I don't know, that's cheat codes, that's Doom Eternal. That's a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in. So I think it's a good place to come off of this.
Yeah, in a little fourth wall breaking moment. That's I mean, you gotta cut and run, right? You gotta hit the demon in the face with your foot.
Yeah,
And
yeah, hit the subscribe button in the face with your mouse.
I like it when you what did I hear? Something like gently caress that like button or something like that. I think I heard someone say
that like button.
Yeah. That was a recent one I heard. I was
Be
like,
sexually assaultive with that Patreon link.
Make that bell go ting-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah. I'll drop that Patreon down below. And he's like, it shows like someone's hands like going down someone's bare chest. Like,
Oh, I'll drop that
Yeah.
Patreon.
you know, we have a Patreon.
No,
We do.
that's news.
Yeah.
You
So-
could tell me more about it, but I mean, this is probably not the place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys have a spectacular day.
Yes. Goodbye. Zoink out.
Zoink out.